because this is going to be quite significant. As you can tell, they're actually just preparing this then for us as well. So we can hopefully get a sense of understanding their sentiment, and of course moving forward to the trial, how significant the evidence that has already been put forward, whether it be by the defense or the state, and how that fares. Let's listen in.
Anyone crossing live?
Thank you very much, Arabile. And in just a short while, Ospindi Chonondola is going to give us reaction from the NPA, flanked by members of the South African Police Service. Let's listen in.
Okay. The decision by the court to deny the accused release on bail is welcomed by the NPA. Moreover, because it is premised on facts that the interest of justice does not permit her release on bail, coupled by many other factors, including the fact that she's considered a flight risk, taking into consideration that if convicted, she may face an imprisonment term of life, and therefore that on its own can induce her to try and evade trial. That the court has found her to be dishonest in the statements that she has made before the court, and therefore may interfere with the ongoing investigation or try to influence witnesses in this case.
Does this give you confidence, though, as the state, that you have a solid case against Tiffany Meek?
The investigating officer has so far done a sterling work. He must be commended for the work that he has done. We continue to work closely with the investigating officers, the NPA guiding the investigation. But with what we have, with the evidential material that we have so far in the docket, we are confident that there are prospects of a successful prosecution.
Those evidential evidence, according to the state, were circumstantial. Do you feel vindicated that based on the circumstantial evidence, you were able to at least keep her behind bars and she remains not for Tiffany to get bail?
Indeed, the evidence that we have at our disposal thus far is that of a circumstantial nature. Much of that evidence will be divulged during the trial stage. For now, we're dealing with the bail application stage, which the test thereof is that of a balance of probabilities. So going forward as the state, we will have to tighten our case, because we'll be expected going forward during the trial stage to prove our case beyond any reasonable doubt.
Okay, and in terms of just an update of what's going to happen now, of course, the proceedings have been adjourned until when?
The case will be back in court on the 17th of September 2025. We've requested the postponement as the state to conclude the investigation. So we are hoping that much of the outstanding statements that the IO talked about during the bail application stage would have been collected, so that we can then move forward, and we will also be awaiting the decision of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution about the forum where the trial will be held.
And just maybe we can perhaps ask you, General Deputy Commissioner, about the police's investigation. Of course, a lot of issues were raised during the bail application about investigations that are not complete as well, the DNA that is still outstanding. How far are investigations, and is there likelihood of any more suspects being arrested in this?
As we alluded previously, that Sispindi has indicated that there were some little loose ends which need to be tightened up, and those reports that are outstanding will be available when the trial starts.
And the confidence that you have at this stage with bail being denied?
No, we are pleased. As you have noted, we addressed the community during the day of arrest when the suspect was arrested. We requested the community to say, all along you wanted the suspect to be brought before court. And now the suspect is here. During that time, there were allegations and even unhappiness about the police and the investigation. Now we invited them to join us when she appeared in court, and to walk and be with us when trial resumes. And during this time, when a bail application was made, as you noted, they were with us, they are here, and they denounce what happened. And that's what we want to see happening across the board, so that as justice system, the community support the law enforcement and justice system as a whole, to ensure that we are not put under undue pressure, but we take every matter seriously, obviously, but being in a position to do what is expected at the right and reasonable time without undue pressure.
How do you react?
Sub judice, but is there any new evidence that you've been able to obtain as police, or any other evidence that you're looking into in terms of this case? I know that it is quite a precarious, issue.
No, sub judice means sub judice. Therefore, you can't expect anything further, except to say those issues that are still standing that need to be collected, or reports that need to be produced. During the start of trial, obviously, they will be available.
What is your reaction about what the defense went on, basically trying to poke holes in the state's case, saying there were botched evidence and evidence was fabricated by members of the South African Police Service, basically saying there was evidence tampering and the SAPS is framing Tiffany?
But I think if you had, especially the closing arguments, when it comes to what the defense tried to portray and what the state put, refuting step by step all the avenues which were tainting or trying to taint the investigation and the process as being flawed. You noted that they've been disputed, and there have been simple, clear explanation of step by step what happened.
Thank you very much. Arabile, there you have it, the South African Police Service.